Welcome to another edition of Achievement College, my step-by-step guide to getting you that gamer score. This is Aussie Gamer 17, and this is a very, very special walkthrough here for Elden Ring. This is my 100% walkthrough for beginners. And what I mean by beginners is people who may not be experienced at Souls-type games, or you might not be good at Souls-type games, because guess what? Neither am I. I've never even beaten a Dark Souls game. I've never beaten Sekiro or Bloodborne or any of those games because I found them too difficult. But I am loving Elden Ring, guys, and I have found some strategies that are going to be easy for just about anyone to follow. And that is my whole goal with this guide, is that anybody of any skill level that wants to attempt Elden Ring can follow this guide, follow my strategies, and beat the game. That is my goal. That is what I'm bringing to you. When I say 100% in my walkthrough title, I mean 100% of all achievements or trophies. I do not mean 100% of the map or 100% of every single item in the game. I mean we're going to be getting all of the achievements or trophies. That means the platinum if you're on PlayStation and the 1,000 out of 1,000 if you're on Xbox. Now, we do need to use some backup saves late in the game. I'll explain that when we get to those sections. But that can be a little bit tricky because there are different endings in the game. And if you don't do it right, you would have to replay the whole game. So you need to stay tuned to the whole series if you want to make sure you get that done right. And I also want to point out what my walkthrough part of my title means. Now, walkthrough, this is not a let's play, guys. I'm not going to be stumbling my way through figuring things out in this walkthrough. I've already played the game several times. I've played ahead and practiced and practiced and practiced, and I'm going to show you guys these strategies that I'm talking about. Now, I've seen a ton of other guides and videos out there on YouTube that are showing new players that you should jump on the horse as soon as you get that and run all over the map and pick up all these high-level items and things that can help your new build and all that. I'm not going to use that strategy, guys. If you want to do that, good. There's plenty of videos for that. This is going to be a more traditional way to play the game, but still, in my opinion, make the game very easy. We're going to be, doing no damage runs on bosses, meaning I'll kill the bosses without them even touching me. And if you follow my strategies, you'll be able to do the same thing. So we're not running around like speed running on the horse everywhere. People are running past all the enemies. We're going to fight the enemies. There are slight exceptions to that. Like sometimes this game has your currency, and if you die, you lose your currency, and you have to go back to the spot that you died in order to pick it up, and you only get one chance to do that. Sometimes when we're deciding to fight a boss, we'll run past some enemies to get to the boss fight, so we don't risk losing too much money. Again, making it easier for you guys. Also, where possible, this game is very possible to farm and grind, to level up and do certain things to make the game easier. Wherever possible, I'm going to be avoiding as much farming and grinding as possible to make this a more streamlined and fun experience. So that is the plan with the guide. Let's get into it, and I'll show you the first decision we have to make. This is going to be a brand new file here on a brand new account. I have not played on this account, so everything is going to be straight from the start. I'm going to leave all of that. I've already adjusted my brightness up to 7, and that's more because the recording usually comes up darker. So you can leave it default if you like, or adjust it however you like it. I didn't change anything here. And what I have done is I've put my HUD on to always on, and I've also turned tutorials off. So feel free to leave those as default if you want, or you can do the same as me. But I won't be having the tutorials pop up and interrupt us all the time. Now, here we are with our first major decision. I am not going to go into explaining all these different builds, guys. But if you want to follow this guide, you will need to be the same class as me. And we are going for, you may have already seen from the thumbnail, we're going for the prisoner build. I believe his starting staff and sorcery skill is super OP at the start of the game, guys, and I want you guys to have the best chance possible to follow this guide and to beat the game. So we're going with the prisoner. Type A or B is male or female. Doesn't matter what you choose there. Now, of course, I'm just going to quickly give this guy a name. And of course, it is Aussie. We will call him Aussie. There we go. Now, second decision. All of this stuff, the rest of this stuff, apart from keepsake, is all aesthetics, whatever you want to call it. It's not going to affect your abilities and things like that. So feel free to have a play around with the appearance and stuff like that. I'm not going to bother doing that. I don't want to waste time in the walkthrough. But our second decision is which keepsake we start with. Once again, I'm not going to go through every single keepsake here. I'm just going to explain what we are doing. I'm going to choose the Lands Between Rune because that way we start with an extra 3,000 dollary-doos or runes. It's the game's currency. More on that later, but I want to start with 3,000. This is a couple of early things I'm going to buy using those 3,000 runes. I don't really think this decision really, even if you don't get this, it really doesn't matter because you can get all this stuff just playing the game. Anyway, it just gives us like literally a 5-minute bonus. That's literally all it is, and that's why I'm choosing that. So I'm choosing the Lands Between Rune, and if you're following along, please do the same. All right, once you're ready to go, let's head into the game. Which brings me to my next point. I have not watched any of the cutscenes. I have not been listening or reading any of the dialogue because I want to experience that along with you guys on this walkthrough. So I will be leaving in cutscenes and dialogue and things like that. Obviously, if you don't want to see any of that, you can just fast forward the video on those sections. But let's go. I'm actually excited to see this opening too. Ooh, I have a story to tell about falling leaves in this game, but we'll tell the story when we get to it. I don't even know how long this goes for. Let's find out.
Was shattered.
And I'll try not to talk over it.
In our home, across the fog, the lands between. Now, Queen Marika the Eternal is nowhere to be found.
Is that bad? That sounds bad.
Of the Black Knives.
Ooh, that's definitely bad.
When the Golden was first to perish.
Ooh, we meet her later.
Marika's offspring, demigods,
I think that's who we meet later.
claimed the shards of the Elden Ring.
I'll try not to spoil things ahead of time though.
Of their newfound strength, triggered the shattering.
That's a bit disturbing, that picture.
A war from which no lord arose.
Very quiet, the narrator, or is that just me?
A war leading to abandonment by the greater will. Oh, rise now, ye tarnished, ye dead who yet live. The call of long-lost grace speaks to us all. Horalu, chieftain of the Badlands, the ever-brilliant Gold Mask. Fear, the deathbed companion, the loathsome dung-eater, and Sir Gideon Ofnir, the all-knowing.
I didn't understand half of that, but I like it.
And one other, whom grace would again bless.
Is this us? I hope it's us.
A tarnished of no renown.
It is us. Yep.
Cross the fog to the lands between. To stand before the Elden Ring. And become the Elden Lord.
Is that the whole purpose of the game? To become the Elden Lord? Oh, and here we are! In charge of our character for the very first time. And I'm going to take you through all the basics as we go, guys. Now, the first thing we have to do is just head over here. Oh, another reminder. I'm actually playing this completely offline. I won't be doing any of the multiplayer stuff. So if you're here for multiplayer, you're in the wrong spot. But if you already know my channel, you already know that. These messages and picking up that finger is a multiplayer thing. I'm not going to go into any detail on anything multiplayer. And the only thing I'm going to say is we actually had to pick up that finger. Otherwise, you won't be able to open this door. So once we've got the finger, open the door. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go and fight our first boss. Well, using the word fight loosely there. It is very, very... So run down these stairs. I'm going to head across this bridge. It is possible, I shouldn't say very possible, but it is possible to beat this boss. But I don't think you're meant to beat the boss, guys. We are going to die to this boss. So run down in here. I don't know. I think it's a Dark Souls trait. I'm not sure. Once again, I am not a Souls game veteran. But all we're going to do is run over to the boss and say hello and let it kill us. We're dead already. The scream killed us. I got scared to death. And I think we're going to grab another cutscene here. Now, if you do manage to beat that boss, then you die anyway and you come to this part of the game. So we got woken up and revived, or whatever you want to call it, just so we could die again. I guess it just gets you used to what you're supposed to be doing over and over and over and over in this game. But you stick with Aussie, and it might not happen quite so much, guys. You wait. Alright. Ooh, I wonder if that's our horse that we'll be getting in this video, guys, in my opening video for the game. It does look like Torrent, our horse will be called, or is called.
Don't worry, Torrent.
It is Torrent.
Fortune is on his side. We found him here, after all.
Okay, so I'm not really dead. Ha! I knew that. Is this Melina or whatever her name is?
One of his kind is sure to seek the Elden Ring.
Of course we are.
Even if it does violate the Golden Order.
Yeah, so once again, I'm seeing all this for the very first time. I kid you not. I even did a live stream of this game and purposely skipped all these scenes so that I would enjoy them with you guys in this walkthrough for the very first time as I record this. Are we back in control here? Is this where we get back? I mean, I know it's the right spot. Yeah, there it is. Okay, the game. We all of a sudden have our first flasks. Before I do that, guys, you'll see in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the lands between Rune equipped in that very bottom slot. And that was our keepsake that we chose for our decision back at the character select screen. We are going to press the X button or the use item button. Actually, I won't refer to buttons as the actual buttons in case you're playing on a different system. I'll try and refer to things as the action that it is. So for me, it's X on Xbox. I am going to be pressing that to use my lands between Rune. And if you look over on my bottom right-hand corner, you'll see Right now I've got 0 runes. That's the currency. If I press X, we're going to consume the rune, and that actually turns into 3,000 runes. Now what I want to do is I want to go into my inventory, or my equipment, I should say. Go into equipment, go down to where our lands between rune is. And if I press the remove button, whatever it is for you guys, down the bottom there, you can see it's X to remove. I'm going to just remove that, and I'm also going to remove these 2 flasks to move them over. And I'm about to explain what they are, but before I explain what they are, we're just going to choose the first equip slot. And I always want my health potion, which is the flask of Crimson Tears, in that first slot. So I'm going to select it there, and then I'm going to put the other flask, which is the flask of Cerulean Tears, in the second slot. Now, when we've got more than 2 things in our item slots, which are these bottom items here, if we've got more than 2 things in there, when you hold down on the D-pad for me, or the item select button, whatever it is for you, it automatically puts whatever you've got first as your item of use, if that makes sense. So if we're ever in heaps and heaps of trouble and we need to heal, we can hold down on the D-pad and that will automatically select our flask of Crimson Tears, which, if you haven't already guessed, is our healing potion. If we push down on the D-pad again, we change to our flask of Cerulean Tears. That fills our focus points. That'll all make more sense later, but focus points is basically our magic, or our mana, some games call it. It's how we use abilities and magic in the game. So they're the 2 flasks that we've got. The other thing I want to do, I want to go back into equipment. And at the moment, actually, if you look at our character, we've got a sword in one hand and our staff in the other. I find that gets really, really confusing in button presses and things like that. So I like to have both weapons only in my right hand. If I press right on the D-pad, so we'll find out whatever button that is for you, it swaps through my right hand items. If I press left on the D-pad, it swaps through my left-handed items. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to go into the equipment. I'm just going to rearrange it. So I'm going to remove the staff from my left hand and the shield, because I want the shield to be in my opening slot of my left hand. So we move the shield over to there, go up to our right hand armament, go to the second slot, and we're going to put the staff in there. So what that does now when I press right on the D-pad, we've got our sword, press right, changes to the staff, press right again, and it goes back to the sword. On my left hand, we've only got a shield equipped, but if you press the left D-pad button, you unequip the shield, and that can be handy. More on that a little bit later. For now, we'll just leave it like that. So I've got a sword and a shield, and you can read that message if you want. Again, that's more multiplayer related. We won't see too many messages. If you're playing online, you'll see tons of messages around. But offline, it's only the main messages that the game actually puts there. But yeah, once again, I'm not going to explain all the multiplayer stuff. You can chat to this guy. He doesn't really talk to you as such. Somehow sends you some sort of telepathic message. And it's telling us to take the plunge. Now, if we wanted to just continue the main game, we'd run up those stairs and go through that door. But you would, and that's very, I'm sure lots and lots of players do that accidentally. But if you want to go through the tutorial, which we do, you can jump down here. Now, you can jump all the way down to the bottom. You will take some fall damage, which doesn't really matter because we actually can heal shortly. But if you drop to this ledge first, this one here, you won't take any damage, and then you can drop to the bottom. And what we want to do now is head to our first checkpoint. Now, these guys, this is called a Site of Grace. I will probably refer to it mostly as a checkpoint because that's basically what it is. Once we touch a grace, so we're pressing the touch grace button there, it becomes our, lost grace discovered. It becomes our checkpoint. If I run off and die, I'm going to end up teleporting back to my most recent Site of Grace or checkpoint, unless I've found a Stake of Marika statue, and that's closer. If that happens, and I'll show you one of those statues later, we get the choice to either start back at the statue or the most recent Site of Grace. Hopefully that all makes sense. Now, before I rest at this Site of Grace, Another thing to remember, if you rest at the site of grace, all your health and mana or focus points and also your flasks all get refilled, but at the same time, all the enemies respawn. So if you've just fought a whole bunch of enemies back there, and then you come to this site of grace and you rest, if you went back, all those enemies would be back. That is except for, major bosses and things like that. They do not respawn. What I want to do before I rest, though, is I want to go through the skill button. For me, on Xbox, that is left trigger. Above my inventory items in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see where it says parry. That is my current skill. So if I press left trigger, my character performs a parry. That is the skill of the shield. I hate parries in this game. I can't get it right. The timing sucks, or I suck. One of the two, probably both. I don't like parrying. And so what I want to show you guys, if I put my shield away, automatically my skill button turns into impaling thrust. If I press left trigger, I perform the impaling thrust, which is an awesome starting move for this starting sword that the prisoner gets. Love the move, but if I'm carrying the shield skill overwrites whatever the sword skill is. And that sucks, guys. So one of our first objectives is actually going to be to get a shield that doesn't come with a skill. Therefore, if I put a shield on that doesn't have a skill, I will automatically revert to my impaling thrust skill, or whatever the skill is for the weapon in my right hand. Very, very important, but I'll show you that shortly. We are going to be changing to a shield with no skill so that we can perform our impaling thrust. And you'll see in the top left-hand corner, my focus points goes down every time I use the impaling thrust, and that's the same for using skills. Maybe not parry. I think it's only goes down if you successfully perform a parry. Anyway, putting the shield away. The other thing we can do, if we press RB or light attack, whatever the button is for you guys, you'll do a light attack, and right trigger for me is heavy attack. And then if I hold the heavy attack button, you do a charged heavy attack. So they're the different attacks that I wanted to explain here. I'm going to rest to replenish my focus points. While I am resting here, I want to show you, if you choose flasks and go down, we can't do any of this other stuff yet, but we can allocate flask charges. To start off with, unless you chose a different keepsake, we have 4 flask charges. And here we can allocate to use those 4 however we like. We could have 4 blue flasks that refill our focus points, or we could have 4 healing flasks and 0 focus point flasks, or any combination in between. I mostly go for the sort of ratio of 1 healing flask to 3, especially at the start here. We're going to use 1 healing flask and 3 focus points flasks. Say that 5 times fast. God, I can't even say it once. That is the ratio I'm going to go with mostly, and you'll know why. It'll become clear why we do that very soon. Technically, we probably won't even need that healing flask if you're following the guide. All right, once we've got that, we've gone over the shield skill, and what I want to do is move on into this cave without the shield equipped. So if you've got that, press the button to get rid of it. So we've just got the sword in our right hand. Pardon the interruption, guys, but I just wanted to let you know that it takes a hell of a lot of work to make these guides and walkthroughs that I make on my channel. I need all the support I can get from you bloody legends out there. So please hit the join button to become a member of my YouTube channel, or you can join my Patreon by going to patreon.com/AussieGamers17. Thanks for the help, you bloody legends. The next thing I want to show you is, if you press the right thumbstick, or whatever the corresponding button is for you, or the lock on button is what I'm trying to say, head up into the cave. I'm going to crouch. That is the left thumbstick for me. So press crouch and press right thumbstick to lock on. Crouching puts you in a bit of a stealth quiet mode, even though we don't need it for this. Actually, I'm going to stand back up, and we're going to use our skill on this first enemy. Just run up to him, hit left trigger or skill, and we'll perform an impaling thrust. That sort of wakes this guy up. We're going to run up to him, and we're going to perform that skill again. That sort of alerts the third guy, and we're going to do it rinse and repeat. We're going to kill the third guy with that move, and Sometimes that guy will get alerted. Even if he does or doesn't, we're going to run up to him and perform 4 impaling thrusts in a row. So that's the first 4 enemies done. Easy peasy, no damage of course, but don't be alarmed if you did stuff it up and took damage. You can continue on either way. We are now going to change using our right arm weapon to our staff, and we're going to go take on the next enemy. So I don't want to use my magic points to show you this, but if I press the RB or light attack button while I have the staff, it's going to perform whichever sorcery we have. Now we have a default sorcery available to us when we choose the prisoner class, and that is the magic glint blade. So pressing the light attack button will automatically use the magic glint blade. This weapon does not come with a skill, but we don't need one right now. We're going to move forward and we're going to practice using the magic glint blade, and this is sort of a ranged attack. And see that enemy up there? We are going to jump up here. We're going to lock onto him. He has a crossbow though, guys. So as soon as we jump up this next step and he sees us, you want to stay on the move and not let him shoot us with his crossbow. We're going to, as soon as we can, we're going to jump up there. We're going to lock onto the enemy as soon as we can. We're going to dodge left and right using the roll button, which for me is B, or whatever your dodge button is. Use that. We're going to dodge there. I'm going to shoot a glint blade at him. I'm going to dodge this way and shoot one more glint blade at him, and then dodge back and watch the fireworks. That's the plan. Let's do it. Jump up here, lock on, get a bit closer, do a dodge, shoot a glint blade, do a dodge, shoot a glint blade, and do a dodge. As long as you're close enough to your glint blades, do all the damage, takes out. Oh, he fell the other side. I've never seen him fall the other side. He normally falls forward and almost lands on top of us. Now, some enemies that can be random will have a little glow to them once they are defeated. And if they do, you walk up to them, press your action button, and you can loot the body. But only some enemies, and it is random. What isn't random is these fruits. You can pick up a fruit on the left and a fruit on the right. And now we are going to get our sword equipped again, and we're going to run up here and take on our next enemy. This guy has a shield. He's a little bit tougher than those first few enemies that we fought. Actually, what I'm going to do, changing things on the fly here, this guy's a little bit of a pain, so I'm going to use a glint blade to take him on. And you'll see that it mostly hit his shield, which is not great for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to send off another glint blade. Actually, we are going to do something else because we have used up all of our focus points. So we're going to use our first flask. We're going to use the flask of cerulean tears to fill up our focus points. When he runs at you like this, send off a glint blade and then run away. And now the glint blade is behind him and hits him in the back. The other option we can do is send off a glint blade here, then run past him so that he turns around and the glint blade will hit him in the back. Let's do it. So send that off, run past the enemy, do a dodge if he tries to attack you, and there we go. The glint blade got him in the back. We'll be using those sorts of strategies a lot, but that's how we take him. Now I'm going to get my sword back out. So I sort of stuffed that up just a tiny little bit. Let me read my notes. What is next? Oh yeah, we are going to thrust kill the next enemy, which is up here. And just like we did with the first 4 enemies, guys, just run up to this guy, lock on, use your thrust, lock onto the next guy, use your thrust. Do have to be a little bit quicker so that they don't attack us. And then we're going to continue through here. And I believe... Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so we're going to run across here. We're going to get our shield back out. I'm going to teach you another method to take out some of these enemies. As soon as we can, we're going to lock onto this guy. But if we run across here, he's going to get alerted to our presence. And he's a slower enemy, so he's a good one to practice this on. We're going to practice what is called a guard counter. Hold LB or whatever your guard button is. And he's going to come up to us and attack us. As soon as his weapon hits our shield, we're going to press the strong attack button to do a guard counter. Let's do it. And attack. You'll hear that sound and you'll immediately do a counter that will take him out. Some enemies, the guard counter won't take them out straight away, but if you're lucky, it'll stagger the enemy and you'll get to do a light attack, death animation, or special finishing move on him. It's really cool. Now we're going to crouch and head further in, guys. I'm going to lock onto this guy, and sometimes he turns this way and sees you, but it's very rare. If he does turn this way and see you, just use either your thrust kill that we've used on many enemies or a heavy attack followed by a light attack to put him down. But if he's facing the other way, sneak up behind him. We're going to get our first stealth kill. So sneak up behind him. Now, this is important to remember here. You don't need to worry about getting too close to them, because the closer, the better for a stealth kill. I am walking into the back of him. The game will not let me bump him and alert him to our presence as long as we stay in crouch and we stay right behind him. So that is important. For some reason my lock-on turned off, and now I'm going to press light attack. Just tap it. That actually didn't work. So normally if you just tap the light attack button when you're behind them like that, and maybe it was because I did so much dancing around him, I'm not sure, you will do a stealth kill death animation. After attacking, you need to crouch again, and also after dropping down a ledge, you will need to crouch again. The game always tries to take you out of stealth mode for some reason. Lock onto this guy, head up behind him, and we'll do a stealth attack on him by using the light attack button. That's what we were supposed to do to that guy behind there, but it doesn't matter. Once we've done that, we are going to continue through here, and this guy here, he's a bit tougher. We're going to use our thrust kill on him, and I want to show you that some tougher enemies, it won't kill them straight away. Make sure you've got enough focus points. Head inside, use your thrust skill. I forgot I had my shield. Use your thrust skill. And, oh, there we go. We staggered him with that. I'm going to use my thrust skill again. I pressed that too early, but if you see him drop to his knees like that and you wait a second and then press your light attack button, you'll get an instant kill on him. That's really cool if you can get that, but I was too busy commentating and trying to explain things, which brings me to yet another thing I want to explain. I mentioned the Stake of Marika statues earlier. Here is one right here. Now, they normally represent the fact that you might be about to take on a boss or a mini boss or something like that. This whole tutorial cave is like a tutorial dungeon that we'll obviously see many of throughout the game. This right here is the mist. You can run up to it and press the action button to traverse the mist. Whenever you see that though, I like to make sure we are ready for a fight, because it usually represents a boss fight. We are going to get our staff out and we're going to do our first boss fight, guys. And this is a good representation of how easy following this guide is going to be. Now, if you do not have your focus points full, use up one of your Cerulean Tears flasks and fill up your focus points. Make sure they are full. Make sure you have your staff ready, and then head through the mist. If we die to this boss, we will be able to choose to either go back all the way to the side of grace, or we can respawn right here at this statue. Those will be the options, but if you're following this guide, we're not going to die, guys. Okay, staff ready, focus points ready, head inside, and when you do, we're going to lock on to the enemy straight away, and then we're going to shoot 4 of our magic glint blade abilities or sorceries, okay? And that's all we're going to do, all right? So press the action button. As soon as we're back in control, press the lock on button, and press Magic Glint Blade 4 times. Just like that. Stand still and watch. Now you'll see there the 4th one was just in case. I'm pretty sure the 3rd killed him. The 4th one just made sure. And that is our first boss fight, believe it or not. It's only a tutorial boss. A lot of bosses are obviously going to be harder than that. But how OP is our Magic Glint Blade? Do you love it? I love it. And now it is time to get on with things and get out of this tutorial cave and get on with the game. Let's do it. So we're going to head up here. If you look down there, that's where we dropped into the cave. So we're sort of back at the start, guys. If we head over to our right up here, there's another sort of multiplayer type collectible. I think it's a gesture or something. I won't be doing much with things like that. And now we can drop down and head up the stairs and open the door. There's no loot or anything in here that I know of. We're going to head up the stairs and we're going to find our next checkpoint. And we are going to rest. We're going to first unlock the checkpoint and then rest at the checkpoint in order to refill our focus points and, of course, our flasks. We don't need to actually do anything while we're here, so we can just back out of there. This thing over here, this little statue here, allows you to put a, what are they called again? Stone sword key, which we do not have. You could have chosen to have one of those as your keepsake, but most people who do that would probably waste it here and then go in there. So putting a key in there opens up this fogged area, and it's really too hard to do that fight at this stage of the game. Unless you're a pro Souls player, you would have wasted your key and you would have probably died in there. It would have been a whole big waste of time. So we didn't do that and we're not going to. This is another multiplayer bit of loot. I can't help just looting it to get rid of it. But more importantly, we're going to head inside here and we're going to go up the elevator. Standing on the middle of the elevator sends it up. If you've accidentally sent it up but you're still down the bottom, there is a lever that calls the elevator back down. And at the top here, we can head up the stairs and out the door. And this will be our first time entering the open world and the start of the game proper, guys. And if it's the first time, just enjoy the view. Have a look around at this amazing game and just get even more excited, guys. Do it. And if you look down to the right over there, that is another boss here in the game, guys. Hang on, I'm going to head over here to our next side of grace. But before doing anything with that, just check that guy out. Do not go near him yet, unless you want to practice dying. He will wipe the floor with us if we tried to attack him right now. He is super OP. If you do happen to die to him, though, just make sure you go, if you do want to try it, go have a play around with it. You won't lose anything and you'll still be able to follow the rest of my guide. Go try and fight him. But if you do die to him, make sure you go back, sneak up to wherever you died and pick up your runes and then come back here and follow on with the guide. We will be defeating him later without taking any damage. I am yet to decide exactly when we'll do it, but as soon as we get our horse, we can come back and defeat him without taking any damage, no problem. So we'll show you how we do that a little bit later. But for now, we are going to get our next checkpoint. I think I will just call them checkpoints. That's my, I love checkpoints. Checkpoints in games are one of my favorite things. You don't really need to rest here. I'm going to, though, just to show something. Oh, actually, you don't need to rest there at all. If you notice, there's a bit of a glowing line protruding out from this side of grace, heading out that way. That's sort of the game's way of telling you where you should go. So it's heading that way. There's a broken church down there in the distance. That's probably where we're supposed to go next. If you want to just, mainline the game, we're not going to do that. Next thing we are going to do, though, is speak to this NPC here. And I'm excited to hear his dialogue for the first time. Let's have a chat.
Oh, yes. Tarnished, are we? Come to the lands between for the Elden Ring?
Apparently.
Of course you have. No shame in it. Unfortunately for you, however, you are maidenless.
I am?
Without guidance.
No, he's right. I don't see any maidens.
And without an invitation to the round table hold, you are fated, it seems, to die in purity.
No, actually I'm not. I'm following Aussie Gamer 17's 100% walkthrough for beginners. So I don't think I am going to die. Ha! Fooled you. Once his dialogue is finished, guys, he's not actually done. The game likes to trick you like this. Talk to him again.
Luckily for you, however, there is one shining ray of hope for even the maidenless. Me. Vare. Take care to listen. Are you familiar with grace? The golden light
Oh, I think he's telling us
to you, Tarnished.
about that
May also
path that we can follow.
golden rays.
Yeah, the golden rays right there.
Particular direction.
That's a good way to describe it, actually, mate.
That is the guidance of grace.
Guidance of grace. Yep. Already explained that, buddy.
Must travel. Indeed. Grace's guidance holds the answers. It will lead you tarnished to the path you are meant to follow, even if it leads you to your grave.
That reminds me, guys, I have watched a lot of content on this game. I've discovered a lot of strategies myself. I've seen a lot of other people's strategies. And as I described earlier at the intro of this video, it's my goal to put all these strategies together in one place so that you guys can all follow it along and beat this game. We're going to talk to this guy a third time now.
Grace's guidance will reveal the path forward, most certainly.
And what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to keep talking to him until he starts repeating himself so that we know we've exhausted all of his dialogue. And again, sorry for talking over it. That's one of the first main bosses that we have to fight. And that's part of the main story. But we will not be doing that for quite a while. Talk to him again.
Set off, I should think, to Castle Stormvale on the cliff, where Grace would guide you. If you seek the Elden Ring, maidenless as you are.
And if you talk to him again, you'll see he just repeats himself. So you can press the action button to skip through his dialogue and get on with things. We're going to go back behind here. If we cross over here, there's going to be some more of that fruit. We're just collecting that. Haven't decided if I'm really going to use the row of fruit in the walkthrough. So we'll just collect it as we go, and at the very least, it can come in handy for selling. Don't go down there and see the tree sentinel. This is another multiplayer thing. Don't need that at all. And another fruit up here. Now we're going to equip our staff, and I'm going to show you another game mechanic real quick. I'm going to drop down here, and you'll see once we get down here, I'm going to go into crouch mode. You'll see a number of sheep. We are going to take out these sheep one at a time. What you want to do is crouch, get nice and close so that we can reach it with our glint blade. Shoot off a glint blade and then immediately crouch again. If you're standing up too much, the sheep gets spooked and runs away, and then your glint blade can miss. Taking out the sheep, heading over to the sheep, you may see this glow. That is how we know that the sheep has loot. Looting that sheep will give us thin beast bones. I want a number of thin beast bones. You can farm them by killing these sheep, going back to a site of grace, killing the sheep again. We're not going to do that right here. There's a better spot just a little bit later in the game. Now, if you can't see the sheep in the bushes there, just press the lock-on button and it'll show you where he is. Get a little bit closer, shoot off a glint blade, crouch back down. I nearly scared him off just by standing up. Oh, he tried to get away from it. And you'll see there, no glow. That one didn't drop loot. He's what I would call a tight ass. So we're just going to find the next one, pressing lock on again. Hey, game, lock back on. Oh, I'm probably a little bit too close. We're going to shoot a glint blade again, crouch back down. Now, if you see another sheep somewhere, feel free to take it out. Oh, that one's really close. Oh, that one didn't drop any though. Okay, we're going to take this one out. But be careful, he's really close to where the tree sentinel hangs around. So before you go and pick that up, we might just wait, grab the fruit here, wait for the tree sentinel to go past. He's just patrolling up and down that little area. He doesn't care about the dead sheep though. That won't alert him or anything. He won't even get suspicious. He's probably going to turn around shortly and head back up to our left. There we go. And once he passes this sheep, we'll be safe to go collect our beast bones. Look, worst case scenario, if you did accidentally alert him, run away. You may not be fast enough. He may kill you. You go back to the site of grace and then go collect your runes and continue on from there. Okay, with those sheep done, we don't need to worry about them too much. Oh, wait, there's another one up there. If you find another one, do it. But it doesn't really matter if you don't get as many sheep. Oh, that's not going to get him. If you don't get as many sheep as I get, don't worry. Because I'm going to show you where we're going to... I know I said we're going to avoid farming, but we are going to find a little spot where we can get a few cheap sheep kills. Just so that we can craft something that is very useful for the playthrough. All right, on these ruins, whenever you see ruins like this, you're going to find a Rune fragment, or multiple Rune fragments, I should say. There's usually 4 of them in this area. There's 2 up there, 1 down here, and another one over here. Not really necessary to get all these, but may as well. Like I said, I can't help myself when it comes to loot. Now we are heading to the southwest after taking care of those sheep, and I want to show you this skull over here. This is just a normal skull. You'll find skulls like this scattered throughout the game. You might not find this one here. They are random. This one doesn't mean anything, but some of the skulls that look similar to that will have a white glow and their eyes will be glowing. If you see a skull like that, roll over it. Okay, it doesn't really seem to work. Yeah, roll over it or into it, smash it, and you'll get a golden rune inside it. Hopefully I find one soon, but they are random. The spots that they show up in are random. I'm sure I'll be able to show you one before the end of this video. But if you see any, break them and pick up the golden rune inside. Don't use the golden rune until we need to. But yeah, pick up golden runes because they give us runes very, very similar to our keepsake that we chose at the start of the game. Now, while I think of it, I have emptied out my focus points. So I'm going to use a focus point flask to fill up my focus points. I'm going to swap to my sword and we're heading to the southwest. We're going to pick up this fruit here. I'm going to head around this building here on our right hand side. And you'll always see these 2 birds in the distance on that rock over there. This I found to be a good spot. What I want to do is get down to the beach directly in front of us. I'm just going to have a quick look to see if there's any glowing skulls. And I want to drop off this ledge here. So if you go to our left of those birds and you get to this spot here, you can drop down onto this next rock without taking any damage. So do that. Turn to our left. You can pick up some mushrooms here. And another lot of mushrooms here. They're good for crafting a few things later on in the game. And if we head further on past the mushrooms, you'll see this sort of ruined building again down here. And there's also some birds on it right there. What I want to do is drop down to my left, focus on these birds, do a heavy attack, or a light attack actually, and kill 1 or 2 of the birds. See if I can sneak up on this one and take care of him. Get their feathers. Don't worry if you don't get these birds. Just continue on. You don't actually need them. I just do it for fun. You won't need them to progress through the walkthrough, guys. What you do want to do is get down to the beach and then do a bit of a 180 around to our left and get under this ruined building. This is what's important. Remember earlier I said we want to get a new shield that doesn't have a skill, like the parry skill on this shield. We don't want it. So what we're going to do, we're going to go into our inventory, into equipment I should say. We're going to press the remove button on the shield because we can't sell it while it's equipped. So I've removed it. It's no longer equipped. We're going to talk to this guy here. Actually, I'm going to grab the butterflies here at the fire. A lot of the fireplaces will have butterflies hovering over them. That is a item that you can collect to use in crafting later. And now we're going to talk to this guy and he is going to buy and sell stuff. No, we're going to buy and sell. Anyway, talk to him. He's a merchant. Let's do it.
I don't want any trouble.
Don't worry, we're not bringing trouble. I want to sell you my stupid shield that I don't want. Move across to the shields and sell it for 100 runes. Yes, please. And then we're going to back out of there and we are going to purchase a shield for 900 runes. So we lost 800 on the swapping of shields, but trust me, it is definitely worth it. That's all I want to buy from him for now. So buy that shield, back out of there. Yep. Calm down, mate. Calm down. And then we're going to go back into our equipment and we're going to equip our new shield. We no longer need to run around with no shield out because it has no skill. And you can see there, even with our new shield equipped, we can still use the impaling thrust if we press the skill button. Pretty cool, right? I agree. Okay, after sorting out our shield, we're going to head with the cliff face on our right-hand side. We're going to hug the cliff face and head around this way. If you look in the distance over there, there are some enemies over there. We don't want to fight those enemies yet. I'm sure we're definitely capable, but they're a bit tough. We don't need to fight them. We're not running past them. We're going across this way And on our right-hand side, we're going to find a cave entrance, and we're going to head inside. So just avoid those enemies for now. I'll be doing as little enemy avoidance as possible because I want to show you guys how to take down everyone. But heading inside the cave, we're going to get a site of grace, a checkpoint. So let's touch it, and we're also going to rest at this site of grace. And resting here, guys, basically just to refill our focus points. Didn't really need to rest there. Just touching the site of grace does add it as a waypoint or a fast travel point. More on that right now, actually. So if we go deeper into this cave, as you can see, it's quite dark. And a little bit later, we're going to get ourselves a torch that will allow us to see in the dark. There's also a boss fight down there that we are not quite ready for. So we're not actually going to attack that just yet. What we're going to do is open up our map. And you can see here we've got some not waypoints, but marks on the map. And they are all the sites of grace that we have been to so far. And they are also fast travel points, but you'll see the little red line through them. You can't fast travel from inside a cave or dungeon or underground, so we have to wait till we get back out of the cave. And actually, I do want to fast travel back to our first open world checkpoint, I want to call it. But before we do that, what I want to do is actually place a marker here that reminds us that there is a boss to beat inside this cave that we have left for later. So I'm pressing the marker button. I'm going to choose the button or the marker with the skull on it, and that's what I'm going to use to represent bosses. So I'm going to place that on the coastal cave, and that will remind us to come back here later and take on the boss or bosses, hint hint, spoiler alert, inside this cave. So place that on the map, and then I'm actually going to figure out which way is out, which is this way. We're going to go back up here, back out the way we came, so that we can then use fast travel. I think once we get out to about here, we can open up the map. The red lines have disappeared, and we're going to fast travel to the first step. All right, here we are back at the first step, guys. Now, I want to show you the next mechanic. If we rest at a site of grace, you'll see the first option is pass time. Now, the enemies and environment can change drastically during the night. Aside from that, I much prefer to record videos during daylight, in-game daylight, because I believe it looks better. It allows you guys to be able to follow along better. So we're only going to use nighttime when necessary for certain enemies and certain situations, but I'll explain those when we get to them. So for now, I'm going to always pass time until morning. I may even do that off camera sometimes. So if you find your time is not matching up with mine or whatever, if you're trying to follow along, make sure you just go to your nearest site of grace or wherever or your last one and pass time to morning. That brings me to another thing. It's almost impossible to pause. Not impossible, that's wrong. Most people think it's impossible to pause this game, even if you're playing completely offline like I am. I found a way to pause the game. I'm not sure this is going to be a good spot to show it unless you can see the tree sentinel up there. You can see he just turned around and he's heading down. Pause the game. No, what I like to do is go into my map, press the map button a second time, go down to menu explanation. On this screen here, the game is actually paused. It's really hard to demonstrate that here, but I've tested it. The game is paused. The other way we can do it, if we exit the map, you see the tree sentinel is pretty much where he was when we went into the map. You can go into equipment. You can then press the help button or the back button, which is the same as the map button, and go down to menu explanation. When you're in menu explanation, the game is paused. Really helpful. Especially if you don't want time to pass or you don't want enemies to attack you. Now, you can't go into the map if there are enemies nearby, so you can use the equipment or inventory. You can go into inventory, press the same buttons again, get to menu explanation. That will pause the game. So that is an important tip. Like I said, stick with Aussie. I won't let you down, guys. All right, the next thing I want to do is we're going to actually head where the game wants us to head. We're going to head for that church, but we're going to avoid the tree sentinel. So I'm going to go down here, and on the way, I'm going to take out these sheep that will have respawned again and get some more beast bones. All right, let's sneak up on this one. Send another magic blade his way. Thank you, thank you. Yes, he dropped some goodies. Collect those. Look for our next sheep. Oh, he dropped some meat as well. All right, there's another one. Another blade. Don't forget to crouch again. As soon as you've shot the blade, you can unlock from the target so that you can look around. Oh, crap. I put him right on the path, didn't I? I'll see if I can find another one and then we'll come back for that one. All right, there's 2 more sheep up here, so we'll take on this. Oh, that one may miss. I'm not sure. Yeah, that one missed. My bad. Try again. That should work. I'm going to stop locking on. I'm going to lock onto that one. I'm going to shoot that over there. And now we will go back and loot the sheep that we've left behind. You can pick up these Rune fragments again. I'm not going to bother getting them all. I'm just going to pillage the sheep there. And then I'm going to go find the one that was over near the path of the tree sentinel, which is moving. He's all the way up there now, so we can move over here. Where was it? Did he not even drop any goodies? Oh no, there he is. Excellent. All right, loot him and quickly get away before the tree sentinel comes back. Gonna go around these rocks. I'm still looking for my first glowing skull that I could show you guys. I can't believe I haven't found one yet. Normally there's some 1 or 2 hanging around these parts as well. Anyway, avoid Mr. Tree Sentinel. Oh, there's another one. We'll take care of him while we're here. The more I kill now, the less we have to kill later. Ah, the rock got in the way. Try again. Oh! I ran out of focus points. Alright, crash back down. Alright, sheepy, give up some goodies. Come on, come on, come on. Don't waste it. Yes, good. More thin beast bones. Excellent. Alright, heading. We're nearly at the church here, but before we go inside, make sure the tree sentinel's not too close. Pick up the loot that's here next to this pole. And don't hang around out here in case the tree sentinel sees us. Crouch and go inside, and then you can run around. Head inside the Church of Allah. The item that we just picked up was this golden rune. The brackets with the 2 in it, that's the level of golden rune. Oh, let me see if I can remember. A level 1 golden rune gives us 200 runes when we consume it. Level 2, I think, is 400. Can't remember what level 3 is, but I know level 4 is 1200 runes. But anyway, we're not going to consume those until we need the money, because we're not risking them if they're just in our inventory. If we die and come back, we get to keep all of our inventory. The only thing we lose is our current runes. And golden runes do not count until you have consumed them. All right, here we are at the Church of Allah. We are going to activate the checkpoint. We are going to rest here to replenish our focus points and flasks. It is still morning, so I'm not going to pass time or anything. We're going to head to the back here, and you're going to see this item on here. The item itself, pickup item, is a smithing stone. Smithing stones are used to improve or upgrade our weapons, and smithing tables, which you find right here, are where you use those smithing stones to do that. Now, if we go in here, the next weapon I would want to improve is our glintstone staff. It says there under required items that we would need 2 smithing stones, and in brackets we only have 1, the one we just picked up. So we can't do it just yet, and it also would cost us 200 runes, which of course we do have. So we can't upgrade our weapons there just yet. Next thing we're going to do is head over to this merchant. Another merchant here. Let's have a chat.
I can see it. And I can also see that you're not after my throat. Then why not purchase a little something? I am Kale, purveyor of fine goods.
Purveyor of fine goods. Excellent. We can ask him about Kale, about himself. I've never done this.
As I travel, the land has been tainted by madness since the shattering of the Elden Ring. It's only tarnished like yourself, who keep things from drying up entirely. Let's say you're a very welcome customer.
Oh, good to know, mate. I like this guy. We can ask him for a recommendation.
You know, if you can spare the runes, you should buy yourself a crafting kit.
Oh, that's a great idea, mate.
Make basic items on your own. Essential, really, if you intend to survive out here for any duration. The kit costs a bundle, and I admit I do take my cut. But the important thing is that you survive. Every customer counts, after all.
Yeah, I don't mind this guy. Anyway, we are going to buy a few things from Carly. We are going to buy a telescope. I don't use it a lot, but when I do, it comes in very handy. It's just for scoping out enemy bases and things like that. I'll show you that at the next enemy base, actually. We're also going to buy the crafting kit as he described. It will enable us to craft some things, and that's the reason why we've been grabbing the bones from the sheep. And we're also going to buy a torch, like I said, for that cave earlier. If we had had that, we could have dug deeper into that cave and had a look around. Although it wouldn't have been wise. We don't want to take on those bosses just yet. So buy those three things. The telescope, the crafting kit, and the torch.
I'm glad you took my warning to heart. You've made an excellent choice.
Thanks, Carly. Now, with after buying that crafting kit, if you press the menu button, and now we have item crafting available in the menu. If you go into there and go across 2 spots, bone darts. How do I explain this? It requires 2 thin beast bones to make 5 bone darts. I use bone darts in this game in order to throw them at enemies to distract them and lure them away from a group of enemies, or lure them towards us. If you throw a bone dart and it hits an enemy, it's like he automatically knows where you are and he'll come running over to you. If that enemy was standing with a group of buddies, he doesn't tell them or alert his buddies. He just runs off and we lure him over and we isolate him for an easy kill. More on that shortly. But first, I want 40 bone darts because that's how many we can carry. So using 2 beast bones, we can make 5 bone darts. So we need 16 beast bones in order to make 40 bone darts. We currently have 8 beast bones, so we need 8 more. And we've got our staff ready to go. And if we head from this side of Grace to the northeast and out this hole in the wall, in this area here, you will always find a few sheep, 3 or 4 at minimum. We can pick up some flowers here. I just can't help myself there. So looking over there, I can see a few sheep. Can see another normal skull. Where's all my glowing skulls? Avoid that guy down there and avoid the tree sentinel, which will be just down there. While avoiding those 2 things, let's do some sheep hunting until I've got 16 beast bones. So this is the tiny little bit of farming I mentioned earlier that I said we will avoid as much as possible, but we're going to do a tiny bit here. That sheep didn't give up anything. That sucks. There's a few sheep here though. I'm going to see if I can get that one. Yep, got 2 there and a 3rd one here. Or I should say 4th, including the one that didn't give up anything. All right, these 3 did though, so we'll get 1 there, 1 there. Sometimes they give up more than 1 beast bone per sheep, guys. And 1 there, so I've only got 3 out of that lot. I don't see any more sheep. Does anyone else? And you can look around for glowing skulls as well. I can't believe the lack of glowing skulls. Oh, is that one there? I don't want to go too close to that guy. But I do want to see if this is a glowing skull or not. No, that's a normal skull. Plenty of normal skulls, no glowing skulls. Hopefully you guys are having better luck than I am. Just break it anyway to get it out of my way. And we're going to head back to the church. We're going to rest and do some more sheep hunting. Pardon me, I do not need to pass time just yet. Just need to rest, back out, head into the paddock. All the sheep have respawned. We're going to sneak up. Let's see if I can get all 3 of them here. Let's do that. Change target. Oh, I think I did that wrong. Let's just try it. No, that sheep got away too much. I was being too ambitious. We can afford it because we're going to go back and replenish everything anyway. Come on, give up some... He didn't give up any goodies. This one did, though. All right, we'll get the goodies. One more beast bone. So what's that? I need 4 more still. Come on, come on, come on. All right, he's giving up some. All right, I still need 3 more, so we're going to rinse and repeat one more time. I did think about not putting this in the video and just speeding it up. But I think, at least for this first episode, whenever we do this sort of thing, which, again, won't be a lot, I'll leave it in the video. Just so you guys see exactly what we're doing, exactly what we're getting. Let me know in the comments down below if you think I should speed certain things up. But that's what we'll do for now. Okay, rest and back out. Hopefully for the final time. You can grab the flower again every time as well. I forgot last time, but we don't really need it. Alright, we're going to... That's far enough away from that guard. He should not get alerted. He stops around there and then turns around. Alright, this guy gave up some goodies. Beautiful. Thank you, thank you. I'm going to start with that guy. Crouch again. Then that guy. Crouch again. And then that guy. Crouch again. Loot him. That last one didn't give up any goodies, but this guy did. And while I'm hiding in this bush, I'm safe. Go into item crafting. Cross to beast bones. I now have 16 of them, so we can craft 8 times 5 beast bones will give us 40 beast bones, and I'll show you exactly what those are for in just a little bit. I'm going to have one more quick look around for glowing skulls. I don't see any, but yeah, that's a good early spot to farm some beast bones if you do indeed like bone darts, and I'll show you why we like them, like I said, in a little bit. I'm going to go back in here and just rest and reset everything so that we can continue on from here. And as you can see there, as we rest here, it's still early day, but I'm just for the sake of keeping this video the way I want it, I'm going to pass time till morning because we're about to go and do some combat and stuff like that. I'm also going to stand back up. Now, if you go into the menu again, over on the right-hand side, you will see a pouch. And if you press right on the D-pad, if you're on a controller, you'll be able to access these items in the pouch. The Memory of Grace, from what I can tell, if you use a Memory of Grace, it will teleport you automatically to the nearest or the most recent site of Grace, but it will cost you every single rune in your inventory. I have no idea why you would ever want to do that, and I won't be using it. I'm going to show you how you use your items in your pouch. Actually, we're going to get rid of that item though, just so we don't accidentally use it. So go over to pouch. For me, I press the remove button and it removes it out of the pouch. What's the pouch? I'm going to explain that in a second. But for now, I'm going to use the right D-pad pouch item. I'm going to press the switch button and I'm going to place my bone darts there, back out of there. And I'm going to use the left pouch button, press the switch button, and I'm going to put my telescope there. So now I have 2 items in my pouch. The reason for putting items in your pouch, you'll see down our bottom left-hand side, there are all the things we can change to our sword, which we actually want to do. So make sure you get your sword out. We can also change our flasks, and we can equip and unequip our shield. If we had extra sorceries, we could swap our sorceries with the up button. Now, if we hold the action button, which is the Y button for me, that will show our pouch items. And then if we press the corresponding D-pad button, I can use the pouch item. So if I press left, I get out my telescope. I can zoom in using my D-pad. I don't know what it is if you're not using a controller, but D-pad to zoom in and out. And then I press the same button to put it back away, or you could roll or something like that. That automatically puts it away. So that's a bit of an explanation on the pouch. More on that later. For now, we are going to move on and do some combat. We're going to head out this same sort of hole in the wall, guys. And if you remember the enemy patrolling up to the north that I told you guys to ignore earlier, we're going to go take him out. we are going to use a guard counter on him because he's going to see us coming. We've got our sword and our shield ready. As soon as he sees us, we are going to stop. He'll get his sword out and he'll run at us. As soon as he hits our shield with his weapon, we're going to use heavy attack to hit him back and hopefully get him into that weakened state where he drops to his knee, and then we press light attack and we get an instant kill. I love that move. You do take the tiniest bit of damage sometimes when you do the guard counter, so keep that in mind. It is not a no damage move usually. From him, if we look to the east, there's always another guy patrolling up here. We are either going to do another guard counter or a sneak attack, depending on whether he sees us or not. If he does turn around and see us, we'll do a guard counter. If we can sneak up on him, we will do a sneak attack. There we go. Perfect. Sneaky kill on him. We're going to crouch back down. Now, sometimes, I believe it's random, you might get one of these boars sneaking around. They will attack you guys, so if you do see one, it's better to take them out before they take us out. We're going to use the same method that we would use to take out the sheep, and we're going to take out that boar. So if you hear one or see one, make sure you take him out so that he doesn't interrupt what we are trying to do. You'll see there I picked up some more berries. Don't worry if you don't see any and you don't pick up the exact amount of berries or fruit that I pick up. Don't worry too much about that. Now we're going to find this enemy to our northwest, sitting at what looks like a fire. It's actually him holding a torch that makes it look like he's sitting at a fire. And I can see another boar in the distance, so don't forget him either. But we're going to sneak up on this guy. Make sure you've got your sword back out. Sneak up behind this guy. And do another sneak attack. He'll sometimes drop his own loot. There he has again there for me. But there's also loot in this wreckage here. There's always loot there as well. Once you've taken care of him, look for this guy to our northeast. He's always facing the other way. Bit of a lookout. So we're going to do another sneak attack on him. We're going to crouch back down. We're going to grab the fruit while we're here. He dropped some loot. He doesn't always drop loot. So don't worry if you don't get the exact same loot as me, guys. I'll be doing my very, very best to not use anything that I haven't shown you guys, that you guys haven't definitely got as well. So don't worry too much about that. All right, so now what we need to do is from that guy that we just took out, we're going to see this guy patrolling over here in the west. Same thing here. If he turns and sees us, we will use a guard counter. If he doesn't see us, like he's not going to, we're going to sneak up on him and we are going to do a sneak attack. Now, if you remember, I saw that boar somewhere around here. There he is. I'm going to use a magic glint blade on the boar. And then I'm going to get my sword back out. It's a good... Oh, that guy dropped a sword as well. We'll probably just sell that later, guys. I'm going to grab any loot that the boar had. I'm going to grab this root resin here. Is that a glowing skull? No, normal skull. I cannot believe my lack of skull luck at the moment. You know what? I'll do a guard counter on this just to practice another guard counter on this guy. Because we have got lucky with those other guys. So what we're going to do, lock onto him, let him come and attack us, attack him back, he'll drop to his knees, and we finish him off. You can either do quick attacks like that, but if you stand in the right place, you'll do the finishing move on him. But anyway, oh, he gave up a smithing stone. I am going to pretend I never got that smithing stone because that is completely random, guys, and I have a plan for exactly which smithing stones we do pick up. There is some more root resin here and here. So grab those. And now we are ready to go over to this cave over here. To the left of the cave are some more mushrooms. So we're going to pick those up as we go inside. Don't rest inside the cave here. We're going to find another checkpoint. This is called the Groveside Cave. There's a checkpoint here. We're going to touch it just to activate it. But we're not going to rest. Otherwise, those enemies that we just took out will all respawn. And we're about to go back past there. Now, again, there is a boss Let me just remember, is this the one with the wolves? Yeah, there's some wolves and another boss fight deeper into this cave. We're going to come back not too far away. We could probably go and take care of them now. I'm going to show you an even easier way to take it on a little bit later. So what we're going to do again is we're going to open up our map and we're going to place another boss marker. Oh, don't move that. Right there on the Grove side cave. Place that. While we're here in the map, I want to show you this here. As you can see, the map, even the areas that we've visited, the map is just a dark mess. What's called the fog of war has been removed, but no detail has been filled in on the map other than the sites of grace that we've visited. This item here, when you see that on a map, that is actually a map fragment. If you attend that location and loot it, you will find a map fragment, and that will actually fill in all the detail on the map. We're going to be doing that again in this video, but I just wanted to point that out while we're here on the map. We've left a boss marker here at the Grove side cave. We have not rested at the side of grace, and now we're going to head back out. We're going to go left or north along this cliff to our left now. The rocks are going to be to our left. We've taken out all the enemies to our right. Unless there's a boar, keep an eye out for boars. Don't let them mess you up. If you see a boar, take them out the same way we have with the previous two boars. And just keep the rocks to our left and head along this way. And here we are going to find a bit of what I would call an enemy outpost. And we are going to take out every single enemy in this outpost shortly. I'm going to show you how to do that here in this very video, guys. Oh, did I miss some, whatever that is, Erd leaf flower. Not super important. We're going to head over here and we're going to find another checkpoint. This one's super important. Not particularly this one, but this is our third open world checkpoint. Whenever you get to your third open world checkpoint, you're going to meet an NPC. It may not be this one unless you're following this guide. Your third open world checkpoint could be any checkpoint. So let's touch it and also rest at it to meet this NPC. So she is the same NPC as before in the early cutscene, isn't she? I think.
Greetings, traveler from beyond the fog. I am Melina.
Melina? I've been calling her Melina. I've been saying it wrong. Ooh, what's wrong with your eye?
For you an accord.
Or is she just extending a wink?
Have you heard of the Finger Maidens?
Nope, I haven't.
They serve the Two Fingers, offering guidance and aid to the tarnished. But you, I am afraid, are maidenless.
Oh, maybe she's going to be our maiden.
I can play the role of
Yeah! Called it.
turning runes into strength to aid you in your search for the Elden Ring.
So basically she's explaining that she can help us level up,
You need
which I'm going to go into shortly. Actually, no, not shortly. In another video. Make sure you accept her offer. She becomes our maiden, I guess, and that's what gives us the ability to level up using our runes to purchase, upgrading our skills and abilities and things like that. Accept that?
When it's settled, summon me by grace to turn runes into strength.
And now she's going to give us something even, well, not even better, but also important.
I give to you this ring.
The Spectral Steed whistle. That item, guys, when we use that item, we basically summon our new horse, Torrent. We saw Torrent earlier. So using that whistle basically makes you mount a horse. It just appears. It's like a magic horse. You don't have to wait for it to come to you. You just hop on it straight away as soon as you use this item.
Use it to traverse great distances. It will summon a spectral steed named Torrent. Torrent has chosen you. Treat him with respect.
Of course. Now, Torrent will help us, as she said, traverse great distances. Torrent can also come in handy in combat. So I'm going to show you some strategies around that as well. But now that we have our Torrent, what we're going to do is put the Steed whistle thingamajiggy into our pouch. So I'm going to go across to our pouch. I'm going to put it in. That's why I left the up part blank. That's where I like to put it. So you put it wherever it suits your own play style. But we're going to select the Steed whistle and put it in the pouch. So then if I hold my Y button or my action button and push up, I automatically get my horse and we automatically mount the horse just like that. Now, to get off the horse, you can press the same button. You can use action and use up on the D-pad if you're playing like me, or you can push the left thumbstick or whatever the corresponding button is for you in order to crouch, or press the crouch button, I should say, which gets you off the horse automatically. All right. Enough about Torrent. We'll do some more with Torrent a little bit later. Once we have access to Torrent, though, we can also get another ability. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the map and we're going to fast travel down to the Church of Allah, where we visited earlier. Make sure you travel there. As soon as we arrive here,
May I have a word?
the NPC straight in front of us is going to spawn in and ask if we can have if she can have a word. Head over to her and speak.
Pleasure to meet thee, Tarnished. I am the witch Rena. I'd heard tell of a Tarnished hurtling about atop a spectral steed, and upon looking into the matter, the talk I surmise is of thee. Thou art possessed of the power, no? To call forth a spectral steed named Torrent.
And of course, we can call the Spectral Steed Torrent, so make sure you don't lie to her. Tell her that we can.
As I had hoped, I was entrusted this for thee by Torrent's former master.
Now we have been given the Spirit Calling Bell. This is a summon, and you saw on the right-hand side, if you were quick enough, that we also have the Ash Wolves that we can summon. That is our first summon spirits that we can summon. And there they are, the Lone Wolf Ashes. Sorry, I said it around the wrong way, but they're the summon that we have access to now.
Calling forth spirit
I'll show you that in more detail in a second.
from ash and return to the Erdtree. The spirits will obey thine command but briefly, as they recall battles past.
They will definitely come in handy, guys.
Do with as thou wishest.
All right, now, once she finishes talking, make sure you talk to her again to continue her quest line.
An intrusion, Tarnished. I doubt we shall again meet.
Oh, really?
But all the same, learn well the lands between. How long will it be, I wonder, before the Tarnished tire of obeisance to the two fingers?
Now, obviously, when she disappears like that, that is the end of chatting to her. And what I want to do is go into our equipment once again. The best place I find of equipping the summon, or the... What are they? Hang on. We'll click into where our flasks are. So select one of the empty slots, one of the empty quick item slots, and go all the way down to the bottom, and you'll see the Lone Wolf Ashes. That is our summon. So I'm going to equip that there. And if we back out of the menus and we push down on D-pad, you'll see there we can toggle through our flasks, and one of the options is going to be our Lone Wolves. Now you'll see it's kind of blacked out there, and if we press the use button, we can't use it. See that? See him go to grab the bell. Oh, it's not working. That is because we're not in a combat section. The summons only work in certain combat sections, so we'll show you more on that later, but I just want to make sure we've got that equipped for later battles, of course. Okay, once we've got our summon all done, we're going to go back to where we were up to. We were making our way to Gatefront, or we did make our way to Gatefront, and we're going to take on the enemy outpost. Before we take on this whole enemy outpost, I want to get ourselves a new awesome weapon. All right, we're going to equip our staff yet again. Oh, no, you know what I'm going to show you? I'm going to show you this guy. I normally wait till it's brighter. Look at that horn on the side of that guy. This is who I call the alarm douche. If we alert him, he blows that horn, and that equals dead, guys. We will be dead if he blows that horn, because he summons a whole heap of enemies from all around the land, and they come and attack us, and it's not cool. We're not going to be doing that. We're going to take him out later. But while he's off there, we are going to focus on this guy. We're going to get close enough to send 2 glint blades at him. Finish him off real quick. Swap back to our sword just in case that didn't finish him off. If he ran at us, we'll just swipe at him. We're going to jump up on the back of this big cart, and we're going to open a chest and get ourselves a new weapon. As soon as we pick up the weapon, we are going to head back to the Grace so that we are not going to get attacked. Oh, there's something random that I want to tell you about. Sometimes at night, if you look up at that giant tree, I forget what it's called, the earth tree or something, it's dropping all these, oh, it's that tree there, dropping all these leaves. If you run around while all those leaves are dropping, any runes that we get for defeating enemies will be raised, I think it's by 5% or something like that. So you can earn more runes when those leaves, and you can see that sort of golden glow around us. It's just finished, actually. It just, the buff just got removed. I think the rain stopped it. Anyway, I'm glad I got to explain that briefly. Checking out the sword that we just picked up, guys. Go into equipment, go to our 3rd right-hand armament slot, and we want to select the Lord Sworn's Greatsword. And you'll see there it has a red X next to it. Selecting it will explain why it's got the red X. Unable to use this item effectively with present attributes unless wielded with both hands. That is an important line there. Unless wielded with both hands. Press OK. You'll see down the bottom right-hand side there it says attributes required. Strength 16. On the far right-hand side, you'll see our character strength is 11. So technically, we are not strong enough to wield this sword. However, if you use a weapon in 2 hands, you automatically get a 50% strength increase while wielding it with 2 hands. So our current strength being 11, 50% of that is 5.5. I do believe it rounds down to 5. 11 plus 5 equals 16. This means we can effectively use this sword as long as we use it with 2 hands. Back out of the menus, press right or whatever your select right hand weapon is until we get to the, I'll just call it the Great Sword because I always forget the actual Lord Sworn, Great Sword. Yeah, who wants to say that 10 times fast? All right, as you can see, we're only carrying it in one hand. We've still got our shield out. To equip this sword in 2 hands, you hold the action button and you press the light attack button or your right hand light attack button, and you'll automatically pop the shield on your back and wield the sword in 2 hands. Once we have this sword in our 2 hands, I want to just show you some moves that it can do. This has one of my favorite moves in the early game. Obviously, we have light attack, we have strong attack, we have charge attack by holding the strong attack button. But more importantly than that, let me just make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Is the skill. You'll see there it says stamp, upward cut. And that's a little bit confusing, but if you go into the equipment yet again, go across to the sword, and you'll see down the bottom it says switch display mid button. For me, that is X, and press that. And down the bottom there, it explains the skill stamp, upward cut. It says brace armament and step into a low stance that prevents recoil from most enemy attacks. And then you follow up with a strong attack for an upward strike. So that can be quite deceiving, guys. If I press the skill button with this sword, he does just a stamp. He doesn't do the upward cut. He just does this little move where he improves his stance. What you want to do is press stamp and then press heavy attack, RT for me. And he does that upward strike move. It's so cool. Watch. It's like a big uppercut with this great sword, and it is a devastating blow if you can get it to land, guys. We're going to test that out in just a minute. All right, so we're going to rest here, and we're going to pass time to morning. All right, there we go. It is now morning, and we are going to take out this entire base. You see there, we still have our two-handed, have the sword equipped in two hands. We're going to take out this guy first, the guy that we have already taken out, but of course he has respawned. I'm going to crouch here. And what I'm going to do is lure him over here so that alarm douche doesn't see. We're going to lock onto him. I'm going to hold my action button, and I'm going to throw a bone dart at him and do what I explained earlier and show you what happens when we throw bone darts at enemies. Throw a bone dart at him. He's going to see it. He's going to run over here. I'm going to hold a charge attack right now. And then I'm going to do a light attack on him. That sort of staggered him and that. So what we did there, guys, I forgot to explain it before I did it. As soon as when he ran over and he got close enough, I held a charge attack, and then I just spammed light attack to take care of him. Now I'm going to show you the stamp / uppercut ability. I love it. Heading around to our left, crouch to make sure we don't get spotted. We're going to take out a couple of enemies over here using the stamp ability. There's another guy that just sort of patrolled off that way, and may have just seen his flame. While he's off there, I'm going to throw a bone dart at this guy. Get him to come over here. As he runs at me, when he gets close, we're going to press stamp and then uppercut. I didn't time it well. He did get me a little bit. If you time it well, when you stamp, your character ducks down right when he swings his sword over the top of you. We'll try and do it better with this guy. And then we do the uppercut, and usually we can get these guys with no damage. Now, if we stand right here, we'll lock onto him. He's going to eventually see us and come running at us, and we'll repeat that move we just did, but hopefully do it with a bit better timing. So it's left trigger, right trigger if you're playing on a controller, I believe. Okay. Left trigger. He swung over me. Right trigger. And we take him out in one move. That is the right way to do it. So I showed you the wrong way, the sort of bad timing / good timing on the second one. I'm now going to swap over to my normal sword. I am going to head off to my left. And what we're doing is we're avoiding that guy's vision. That guy down there. He's facing sort of in our direction, but we are too far away for him to be alerted. And we're going to circle around him. I'm going to crouch as we get a bit closer. And we're going to go up behind him and do a stealth kill on him. There's no one to worry about to our left that's going to see us do this. And there's no one else over this side of the camp anyway. All right, get in behind him and stealth kill him. And we've taken care of this whole side of this camp. And we can jump up on the back of this giant wagon and we can grab ourselves yet another cool early game weapon. We are going to be using that a little bit later. We don't quite have the dexterity for it right now, but once we do, we are going to make use of that weapon. So hang on to that weapon. I'm going to go in here and pick up a flower. Now that we've cleared this whole right side, I like to head back up the top here and head around to the other side of the camp and go through that side and take out everyone on that side of the camp. So that's the plan. We're going to run back up around this first wagon. I'm going to steer clear of the alarm douche if he happens to be up this end of his patrol. So just make sure he can't see us as we head around here. I can't believe I still haven't found a glowing skull. Okay, and we're going to crouch and we're going to head in to this side of the camp. And we're looking for this guy here with his back to us. Now, if we just peek around the corner, I'll unlock so that I can look around the corner. In the bush over there, see that guy? He is a sneaky little bugger. What we're going to do is we're going to do a stealth attack on this first guy. As soon as we do that, though, the guy around the corner there is going to see it and come running at us, and we're going to do a guard counter on him. All right, that's the plan. Let's go. Do a stabby stab on this guy. Make sure we lock on to the second guy. Hold LB. Guard counter. He'll drop to his knees, and we'll do the instant kill. Two guys. Very, very easy. We are working our way through this camp. There's always some loot over here. It's always a Rune fragment. No, nothing too special. All right, we're going to crouch and sneak around again. We're going to head down here to the southeast and then turn to our right around this tent. And there's always this guy just standing here. We're going to do a stealth attack on him. Some of these guys will randomly drop loot, guys, so make sure you check out their bodies afterwards to see if there's any loot. Sometimes they'll drop weapons and armor. Feel free to sell anything you do get off them. Okay, this guy here, sitting at the fire. We're going to take him out, but we need to watch out for the alarm douche over there. We do not want him getting alerted. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch him patrol up to our left and then turn around and back down to our right. And once he heads to our right out of screen, we can then do a takedown on this guy. You could be quick enough to do it right now while he's up there, but I think it's safer to wait for alarm douche to head back down to our right. So he's already coming back now. We do not want to alert him. That's the most important thing, of course, because he's got that horn. We'll be taking him out shortly, but actually, I don't know why, but I think I end up saving him till second last. Oh, that's the other thing I want to point out. That guy down there, the other patrolling guard, he's like the area boss. He's not a boss as such in the game. Here we go. Here's the right timing to take out this guy. And after we've taken him out, we want to grab these butterflies that are over this fireplace. And then we're going to crouch and we're going to head back. Yeah, the other patrolling guy, he's a lot tougher, and that is a reason to save him for last, or at least that's why I save him for last. We have a whole other method of taking him down that I'm going to show you. We're going to do that on horseback. That's going to be a lot of fun. All right, as we head around here, you'll see that guy there. I'm actually going to swap over to my staff, and we're going to use that to take out this enemy. We just need to get a little bit closer. Even if he sees us, that's fine. All right, we're going to use our glint blade. I don't care that someone else is watching. And we're going to need another glint blade on him. Back if he does come at you, and the glint blade will get him in the back. Easy peasy. Now what we're going to do is target one of these wolves, anyone, and throw a bone dart at it. When it turns around, continue to throw bone darts at it. Make sure you've got your sword, your normal sword ready when you do this, actually, guys, because if he does come at you and gets too close, you'll just do a quick attack to kill the wolf. But we're going to use our bone darts. Oops, got to lock onto this guy, then throw a bone dart at this one as well. 3 bone darts on each dog will take them all out. The patrolling enemy is back. I'm going to switch to my staff. We're going to lock onto him, and I'm going to send 2 magic blades his way. Oh, he's seen me anyway, but those 2 blades will finish him off. Now, check the wolves or the dogs, whatever you want to call them. They will sometimes have loot on them. Same with that enemy. Switch back to our normal sword and shield combo. Make sure it's the normal sword, not the big sword. And then we're going to sneak around the corner here. We've got that enemy there, and we've got this enemy here. This one here we can just take down whenever we like. We don't have to worry about the patrolling enemies. So just sneak up to him. Backstab on him. See if he drops loot. No, he doesn't. And now we're going to take out this guy. Make sure both patrolling enemies are nowhere near us. This is good. My recommendation to you guys, if you accidentally alert that big guy, is to just run away and hide until things all reset. But now we've taken out everyone except for these 2 patrolling guys, including the area boss and the alarm douchebag. We're going to go take out the alarm douchebag next. Oh, we are going to avoid the boss, the area boss. We're going to head up around this way. Head down to where we took out the guy by the fire. And when the alarm douche heads to our left. Where is he? Is he already headed to our left and he's coming back? Or is he? No, there he is. Okay. Just check that guy's heading the other way. Good. We're going to sneak up behind Alarm Douche and stab him in the back. We did check that the area boss was heading the other way. Easy peasy. Just make sure you get the timing right, guys. Now, I'm going to show you how to take down the area boss again without taking any damage. I think the only damage we've taken in this whole camp was when I mistimed the stamp attack. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to get our staff out. We're going to call our horse. I'm going to call Torrent. We are going to target Mr. Douchebag. Now, you can get the first shot in right behind him. Shoot a blade at him, just like so. Oh, wait, no, we're going to need to fill up our flasks. That reminds me, as soon as we take everyone out in this camp, guys, we're going to get free refills of our flasks. I believe it'll only fill 3 of each flask, which is plenty for us, obviously, at this early stage of the game. Oh, I think he saw me. I didn't get that early one in, but I wanted to explain the flask and enemy situation anyway. All right, he's coming towards us, so I'm going to show you the way we were going to take him out. You could get a freebie by shooting a glint blade at his back before he sees you. If he's already seen you, this is how we're going to take him out. We're locked onto him. We're going to shoot a glint blade at him, and then we're going to run past him and get to the other side of him so that the blade comes and shoots him in the back. If we shoot a blade at him like this, he's going to get it. He's going to shield most of it. See that he blocked most of the damage. I don't know why the first one didn't damage him too much. It's actually easier if we lure him down this way a little bit more so that we've got more room to run around him. But basically what we want to do is we want to shoot a glint blade, and then we want to run around behind him so that he faces the other way and the glint blade gets him in the back. That is the plan. Just be patient here. Lure him into the open area. He's a bit of a slow dude, but you can see that he's a tough enemy in terms, especially if we took him on melee. But we're going to do this without taking damage, you see. So, he's close enough. No, I'll let him come into the open a little bit more. Come on, mate. Why are you so slow? Here we go. We'll do it this way. Shoot the blade. Run around the opposite side. Blade will get him in the back, just like that. Rinse and repeat. Shoot the blade. Run around so he faces his back. Shoot another blade. Run past. It's going to get him in the back. Shoot another blade. I'm probably doing it from a bit far, but it's for demonstrational purposes. Okay, if you run out of juice, you just fill it back up. Shoot another blade. Run back past him. He'll turn around. He'll get a blade in the back. He does not learn. All right, probably one more. Let's run around behind him. Blade in the back. And there he goes. Watch your character. See that circle glow? That means you've taken out all the enemies and your flasks refill. See, we've got 3 flasks of cerulean tears again. And the boss is dead. We did it. I'm going to hop off the horse. I'm going to get my sword out. All right, now that those guys are all taken out, I want to grab the butterflies just here. The most important thing that we came for, if you remember, I told you about the map fragment. That's exactly where we are. These pillars / obelisks, whatever you want to call them, right here have the map fragment. So head up to that and loot it. We get the Limgrave West map fragment. So if you open up your map, it'll tell you found a new map. And look at the map now. So much more detail. Really, really cool. Now, the map is not like the traditional open world maps that Ubisoft have made famous with, where it fills up with question marks. There's no quest logs in this game. But the map still tells you a lot. I'm just going to point out one thing real quick here, and that is a cave entrance right there. It looks like a cave entrance. You go there, it's going to be a cave entrance, guys. We will be going there shortly in another video. But for now, we have cleared this camp of all the enemies, but we haven't got all the loot. We're going to head down to the east side of the camp where we took out this enemy here, and we're going to circle around to our right and head down these stairs into the bottom of the camp. We're going to open this door here. I'm not sure if you can open that door if you haven't cleared the camp. I haven't actually tried that. I kept meaning to practice that, but I never did. We're going to come in here. We are going to open the chest, and we're going to get some important items here. Search the chest. You get an Ash of War. Ashes of War are things that add abilities and skills to our weapons or armaments, guys. So we'll be covering more on that later in the walkthrough, but that's important that we've got that. In order to put an Ash of War on a weapon or armament, you need a whetstone knife. We've got a whetstone knife now as well. So that's where you find that. And like I said, we'll cover more of that later on in the walkthrough. For now, we're going to head back out and we're going to go find our next checkpoint. If we head back to the path and we look over to our east, we can jump on our horse again. I'm going to have a quick look. Normally by now, guys, there have been several glowing skulls that I would have found. Hopefully you guys have found some. Just going to have a quick look over here. Sometimes there's some in the grass here. I cannot believe the lack of glowing skulls. This is the recording curse striking again, guys. I'm just going to run around the camp a little bit on the outskirts. And as you might notice there, you can double jump on Torrent, which is very handy. Oh, that's something else. We won't go over there. That noise you can hear, we'll explain that in another video. There's a skull there. Is it glowing or is it normal? It's literally just another normal skull. I am so confused by my lack of glowing skulls. But hopefully you guys have found some. And we are going to head to the side of grace, the next checkpoint, just over here. So sort of to the, to the east of the camp. Not far away at all. Very easy to find. Jump over here. Touch the side of grace. Rest there as well. If you want to, it will, of course, respawn all the enemies. I'm not going to be doing it, but you could respawn all the enemies and go through the camp again to get to farm some more runes, guys, and some kills and to practice your kills. Feel free to do that. But guys, that is the end of the first part of this series, this 100% walkthrough for beginners. Please let me know if you enjoyed it by hitting the thumbs up button, and let me know in the comments, guys, what you think of this guide. If you want to see more, make sure you let me know. I can't wait to make the next part, but I want to hear from you guys first. So please let me know, and definitely hit that thumbs up button. If you really want to help me make more videos like this and make this guide, guys, because I estimate this guide is going to take me 500 hours to make. If you want to help support me while I do that, please become a member of the channel by hitting that join button, or join me over on Patreon, where you can become a member of Aussie's Army for just $1 over on Patreon. I appreciate all the support. I love the Aussie Army Bloody Legends, so thank you very much. There's the bell, guys. You know what that means. Class dismissed.